Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of I Bought a Watch. Okay, finally living up to the channel's name and bringing you a watch I've actually bought. So this of course means that I'm going to be reviewing a watch that you guys can easily go out and get for yourself. However, on making that decision, perhaps watch the video to get a better idea of what exactly to expect. As always, I just want to thank everyone who's watching and who has subscribed already. The channel has just hit 70 subscribers, which is amazing. But of course, if you're watching and haven't done so already, please consider liking and subscribing as it really does help the channel grow. Alright, that's just about enough hand acrobatics for one episode. Right, let's get on to the watch. Here is the Ben Nevis. Now this one tickled me for a couple of reasons. Here we have a Chinese watch named after Britain's highest mountain, which is trying to copy a Japanese diver. Now, the Japanese diver in question is of course the Citizen ProMaster diver, which, as you can see, shares a lot of similar design characteristics. So I saw this watch first on Jody's channel, Just One More Watch, from a top 10 AliExpress watches to get in the summer sale. And in a moment of summer sale madness and at such a crazy low price, I snatched this one up. So what is the price, you ask? Well, I picked this one up in the sale for £9.24, which included shipping. However, you can still go pick this one up for £10.58. Although I should draw your attention to there's an extra £3 4p shipping charge. So please factor that in when you're watching the rest of the review. Now, this is the first time I've ever paid for shipping on AliExpress. I usually just opt for the free included shipping. But I thought it was important to bring to your attention that this watch arrived first out of a couple of watches I ordered on that same day, which I'm still waiting for 2 weeks later, so maybe paying that extra shipping had something to do with the speedy delivery. Now, unfortunately, I didn't film the unboxing of this watch, mainly because it came, as you would expect a sub £10 watch to come in, just bubble wrap. Which I only mentioned because when I was looking through the comments under this watch, I noticed some other buyers seem to have received the watch in some Ben Nevis branded packaging, which I didn't experience. Alright, let's get this in the hands. So, first impression, this watch is quite clearly inspired by the Citizen ProMaster diver. That standout dual-coloured syringe-style handset really make this watch easy to read and give it a real modern tool watch feel. Let me just move those out of the way of that date window. However, like most of these AliExpress watches, this gets a bit interesting when it comes to the dimensions. If you couldn't tell already, this watch is big. Although I really do love the name change, the diameter of 45mm and lug-to-lug of 54mm with a encompassing 20mm lug width really make this a bit of a monster on any wrist, even though it only has a case thickness of 10mm. The case also features an unsigned crown at the 4 o'clock position. The bezel on this watch is probably a little better than what you would expect from a £10 watch, but not by much. The distinct clicks feel a little tinny, and there is some quite serious backplay on that bezel. There are some positives to this bezel. It does spring back into position when you turn it the wrong way and let go, and miraculously it lines up at that 12 o'clock position. However, the fact that that loom pip is slightly offset kind of detracts from the fact that it's lined up in the first place. Right, let's get a closer look in on this dial. As you can see by that ticking second hand, this watch quite clearly houses a quartz movement. However, it's what's in front of that movement that made me pick this watch up in the first place. This dial has a slightly textured matte black finish with the words Ben Nevis printed just under the 12 o'clock. The dual-coloured handset make this watch extremely legible, especially with that slightly modified syringe styling that lets you easily make out to the exact minute what time it is. Similarly, that standard arrow-style seconds hand lets you easily time things to the second, as it thankfully lines up almost perfectly with the minute track on the chapter ring. The indices on this watch are primarily circular at the hour markers, with baton-style indices at the 3, 6 and 9 o'clock positions. These have a nicely applied high polished metallic edging, however unfortunately these don't all perfectly line up, with the applied lume stamped to the dial underneath them. And of course, by far the most standout hour marker is the Ben Nevis logo printed at the 12. This watch also features a date window at the 3 o'clock position, which has a nicely printed white border. Operating this watch is fairly standard fare and what you would expect. So the first position allows you to change the quick set date, and the second position hacks the movement and allows you to change the time. I must say this movement, the handsets feels fairly loose. I think it's just simply because of the weight of these rather large hands, but they do feel like they wobble around a little bit when you shake the movement. However, this doesn't seem to be the case when you push the crown back in. I must say the crown action on this is very sensitive. However, because the crown is so responsive, it's very easy to shift the minute hand when pushing the crown back in, so you just need to be a little extra careful. Alright, here's a shot of the lume. As you can see, there's quite a decent application of lume on those hands. However, the indices, if you saw them at the beginning of this short clip, have already begun to fade. So for £10, not that bad, but not going to rely on this one diving anytime soon. Alright, the watch has a signed press down case back, which states a few interesting facts about the watch. Aside from the obvious Ben Nevis, quartz, and the product number, it states that this is a stainless steel case back. Now, the fact that they mention case back and not just leave it as stainless steel only leads me to believe that the actual case here is not steel at all and is probably a chrome plated brass. Another slightly funny note is that this diver is only listed at 30 meters, which according to Ben Nevis's own rating system means it can't survive much more than a light drizzle. The strap on this watch is actually one of the features I'm surprised to be the most impressed with. It's incredibly soft rubber, which is supple and very comfortable to wear. As you can see, the strap comes with a signed buckle, which is pretty good for £10. I'm a fan of the crimped strap design borrowed from Citizen. However, as you'll see, this is not the only Japanese watchmaker they borrowed from. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is undoubtedly the Seiko Diver Wave. I'm not sure why that's on the strap, but certainly just adds to the heritage confusion that this watch has. Now on that note, let's get this on the wrist. And there it is. It is certainly a big and bulky watch for sure. It actually feels ironically like I'm wearing a proper dive computer. And although it's large, the 10mm case diameter and largely hollow case give the watch a low profile and a very lightweight feel. So what are my thoughts? Well, I mean, if you're a fan of Ben Nevis and the look of the Citizen ProMaster, have slightly large wrists and £10 to burn, then I couldn't recommend this one highly enough. However, for all you others out there, I would probably advise you to go pick yourself up a Casio or look at some of the other affordable options on AliExpress. Alright, I just want to close this one out by saying thanks to Jody for pointing me in the direction of this one, and also want to maybe prematurely announce that I will be giving this watch away at the 100 subscriber mark. So if you haven't already and are watching this video, please do hit that like and subscribe, and once we hit the 100 subscriber mark, I'll be setting that up. Alright, that's all for today, and I guess I'll see you in the next episode. I'm going to quickly cut some footage of me popping open the case back to just double check what kind of movement we're dealing with.